a doctor in the house. Yes, it's episode number 78 of the Promo UPFront Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Bill Petrie. With me, as always, the only doctor that really matters right now, the doctor of decoration, the one and only Kirby Hasseman is here with me as well. Kirby, how are you?
I'm doing all right. It's the week between Christmas and New Year's, which it should be good, but for whatever reason, I always struggle this week. I'm doing fine. I've got a little bit of a cold, but I don't think I have nearly the sickness that you've been battling with. So I'm doing okay, buddy. How are you holding up?
I'm alive, as is I think everybody can tell. For those of you who don't know, I haven't been very busy sharing this on social media. I have been sick, pretty sick actually. Spiked 103.2 fever about a week ago. Went to the doctor, got a test for COVID, got a test for strep throat, which my son had, and got a test for the flu, which is what I assumed I had because I hadn't felt that bad in over 20 years. And of course, all the tests came back negative. And so I started finally turning the corner around Monday of this week, only to wake up Tuesday morning with, if you're looking and watching on the video, the two rabbit pink eyes I have right now, which everybody can look out, ladies. That's right. He's got pink eye. So playing hurt, definitely playing hurt. It's something I think we're going to talk about today. This is going to be a little bit of a different podcast, but I'm okay. It seems like everybody's sick right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, so as we get rolling, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as we get rolling, we really don't have a sponsor this. Sorry, there's gonna be a lot of that, folks. Enjoy the cough. We really don't have a sponsor this week. I think really what Kirby and I want to do more than anything else is thank each and every one of you guys for rolling with us every week. We really enjoy doing this, and let's face it, even if nobody listened, we'd probably do it just because we enjoy it that much. But you guys listening, engaging, giving us your thoughts, making us think, makes this podcast a lot more fun to do. And so please accept our most sincere and humble gratitude as we enter 2022. So, go ahead, Kirb.
Yeah. And I echo what you said. And, I think we kind of went back and forth about what we were going to do this week. Whether we do the full podcast, whether we, and honestly, neither of us have felt good enough to really even communicate about it. And so your email to me a couple days ago, or whatever it was, 3 years ago, when you said, look, maybe we just talk about trying to battle through consistency when we're not feeling well and giving ourselves grace. And I think that's a fairly good topic and an important one, because while both you and I mean, we preach consistency, I think that,
and we practice it. Quite frankly.
But on the other side, I think there's value in giving yourself grace to be able to step away. I mean, you think about TV shows, there's seasons, right? And then there's a break. And we haven't done that, but in these moments when you're sick, it's like you want to battle through and you want to be tough, but sometimes it's just really hard.
It really is. And I struggled with it. I mean, the blog I pushed out on Monday was, for lack of a better term, a greatest hit of 2021.
Sure.
And I think I'll probably do that going forward, just to give my brain a little bit of a break in terms of writing. But it's hard because you and I both wave the flag of consistency so high, so loud, so proud. It feels almost like you're cheating if you take a week off, even if you can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking to two ding dongs who did a podcast from my wife's hospital room. So, you and I don't not do.
Right.
And so it's hard. It's hard to know when to say when. It's hard to know, should we do one? I mean, we've talked about things like, well, maybe we just pick our favorite podcast for the week and, and trust me, God bless Kirby, folks, because I have been all over the map in terms of what I wanted to do this week. And normally I'm pretty tight, pretty controlled, pretty focused. This week I was like, hey, I was thinking if we talked about red ants and animal crackers and talked about them, especially in juxtaposition to the 1973 super beetle, I think that would be really cool on the podcast. I mean, that's how disjointed it was. And poor Kirby's, God bless him, because you would send me an email back. Okay, so I'm trying to understand, which in Kirby speak is, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. So Kirby extended a lot of grace and finally basically gave me the permission to be like, let's just do something short, quick. Knowing us, short and quick will be 20 minutes, not 30. But it's interesting to kind of face that demon of, am I still consistent if I'm not doing a full effort?
Yeah. And I think, if we were like, and obviously we're getting ready to do the session in Vegas. And I think generally speaking, if somebody were to ask me that question, what I would say is that, my stock answer is sort of about intention, about being intentional.
Yeah.
And I think that normally it's like, I think it's totally cool to take a break from being consistency. I don't know how you feel about this, but like hey, I'm going to do blogs and then I'm going to take the month of July off because I'm going to be traveling with my family or whatever. As long as you communicate that and are intentional about it, it's where it goes sideways is where you're like, oh, this Monday I'll do it, but next Monday I won't. That being said, I think that this is, the curveball that life throws at you is when you're genuinely not up for it. I mean, every football player in the season wants to play every game until they can't. And I think that one of the things that it's hard to do, but it's really important to do is give yourself grace when you're just not.
No, I think you make some great points. And really up until, excuse me, today, I didn't have much of a voice. I think I talked to you on Monday and I was a whisper. I mean, I was like, I really couldn't enunciate. I couldn't articulate. Now I just sound all plugged up and sad, but
it's progress though, bro.
It is progress. It is progress. That's for sure. So I think just I think you actually hit the nail on the head. It's that being intentional and in the communication, right? I'm a huge believer. I've said this, whether it's personal or professional, 95% of all challenges in the world can be solved with better and proper communication, better, more, and proper communication. And I agree saying, hey, because I did that a few years ago. I took a month off of writing blogs, but I had guest bloggers. Said, I'm not going to write a blog. I'm going to have guest bloggers. Or, hey, being intentional or explaining, this is a different podcast. It's a slightly different podcast. So, one of the things though, and I did want to touch on, I don't know how it's affecting your community. One of the things I'm seeing here in Franklin is it seems like everybody's sick, and really sick. So last Wednesday, I went to the Doc in a Box to get all the tests, all that. Sure. Sandy, my wife, has not been feeling good. She went this morning to the same Doc in a Box. She went 20 minutes before they opened, like I did last week. I was number 2 in line last week. She was number 23. And when she got taken back, she heard them tell someone else there were 68 people behind her. My neighbors across the street have strep and COVID. It seems like other people I know, family members, have COVID. It seems like we are at a society at this moment where we're bursting with illness. And I don't know if it's like that just here in Franklin. Are you experiencing that in Coshocton? If so, or if not, what concern, if any, does this have you going into Las Vegas with the PPAI show 10 days away?
Yeah. So I don't think we are, certainly there are people around that are sick, but I also think that the extremity or the level severity of sickness, has a little bit different. So, I mean, like I've been cold and I've had a little bit of a cough, but it's very much feels like the traditional cold that you get this time of year.
Right.
And certainly I've seen some of that around our community. It is funny though. I think that, we haven't had this for 18 months, 2 years, where everybody was wearing masks. I do think that the level of people still over the last little bit understanding, hey, I'm sick, I should probably be a little bit more careful. And I think that has, I've seen that rear its head in a good way. So yes, there's some sickness, not more than I think normally happens after a Thanksgiving or a Christmas here. but how does it make me feel? And again, this is one of those where I tend to look at things from the positive side. I was like, well, hey, I'm going to get over this, and my immune system's going to be extra strong for when I head out to Vegas.
Right. Right.
How do I feel about it? Yeah, I mean, there's a level of concern, but again, I think that Dale sent out a message this week talking about that it's happening, that they're not requiring vaccines, but there is a mask mandate to any place indoors. It sounds strange, but I feel like that makes me feel a little bit better because it sort of adjudicates people's common sense in that big crowded area. And then I don't have to be a rule maker, or, I don't have to be the bad guy. It's just like, you tell me what I need to do.
Right.
I feel good about that. So I am cautiously optimistic as long as we can get flights. So that's
yeah, I think that's where I'm at too. I'm not sure I'm as optimistic as I'm going to get my immune system right before Vegas. I mean, I love that idea. If I had been tested positive for like the Omicron, I'd probably feel a lot better about things. My concern is I'm getting over whatever creep and crud I have, because what I've been told is there is a virus going around our area, an unnamed, just viral infection. It happens all the time. Right. I'm getting over that. And then I'm going to get on a tube, and this Omicron thing does seem to spread pretty easily, pretty rapidly. The next, of course, I'm fully vaccinated. I've been boosted, so may not affect me much, but I don't want to be like sick for 8 weeks straight. I guess that's where my head's at. But like you, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think we're still very much in a wait and see. Yeah. I do. The concerns I have are not so much about healthcare and feeling bad as much as how other services are impacted. Like, I got a connecting flight in Dallas. Is that going to get canceled? Am I going to, those are the type of things I tend to, I'm going to say stress more about. It more pops into my head. Oh, that'll be interesting to see how that works out, because I think that's more fragile, right? That's a fragile thing. So it'll be very interesting to see. And I did see Dale's note, and, mask up. Yeah. I almost wanted to make a shirt that just said mask up and shut up. It just, because I don't want to hear people complaining about wearing a mask. I don't.
Yeah, it will be, and for many of us, like for a while there, that was just the norm, and that's what you did.
Yeah.
And then honestly, there was like a whole thing where nobody wore masks, and so I think it's just a matter of getting used to it again. But yeah, when I'm there, it's what it's going to be. I think anybody who listens to this podcast would know that I wouldn't be against a vaccine mandate. That's fine by me.
I wouldn't either. But Dale and PPAI, they're making the rules that they need to make. That's best for what they feel for the health and safety of all the attendees. And so I'm not privy to those conversations. Neither are you.
Sure.
But you and I both know Dale Denham well enough, and we know enough people at PPAI well enough to know that they're taking into account every possible consideration for everybody's health, safety, and enjoyment of the experience. So whatever they tell me to do, I'm pretty much going to nod my head and follow and do it gladly.
Yeah, best I can. And I wasn't necessarily, I wasn't taking a shot. I don't think that's what you thought, but
no,
I'm just saying that whatever the mandate is, I'm down. I want to go, and hopefully it'll go great.
It will go great. I think if we all go with the attitude that it's going to go well, that we know that I think you got to go into Vegas knowing it's going to be different.
Yeah.
If you think it's basically, we pick up exactly where we left off in 2020, which is the last show, don't even bother going. Just don't. Seriously, you're setting yourself up for such bitter disappointment.
Yeah.
Go and realize that it's a great opportunity to reconnect personally with some people, maybe see some product that's hopefully in stock, and attend some great education, both through PPAI and through things like SKUCon, and go and enjoy the experience. And it is what it is.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. Well, I think that's all the time we have today on this episode of the Promo UPFront Podcast. Yeah, we don't have a party in the back today. It's not because we're down or dour. Honestly, you're talking to two dudes who are just tired, and neither one of us are feeling great, and neither one of us prepared. And so this is us giving you some of your time back before the end of the year. So on behalf of Kirby, truly, thank all of you so very much for hanging with us and challenging us and laughing with us and questioning us and just going along for the ride. We really, truly appreciate each and every one of you. And so from our homes to yours, we wish you everything, the best that 2022 has to offer. And we look forward to seeing you on the show floor in Vegas. That's right.